Okay, this may be streaming on our end here. Should be going. Okay, cool. Is this going here? I think it is. Of course, I have to go back over there to the laptop to make sure my audio levels are correct. I should really make that smaller, close that. Yeah, I want OBS here. All right. So I can see. Oh, hey, it's Tony. Okay, cool. Alrighty. So, wait. Did I mute the mic for? Did I mute that mic back there on the table? I need a producer for this. Mute green. Green is muted. Okay, we are only on blue. So only the blue mic is working. Fantastic. So, audio level sound good. Hello, Tony. Hello, everybody who's watching on YouTube. Stereotypa says, I can't hear any duplication, just your main mic. Awesome. So what you're watching now is the very beginning of RCR's new podcast called Regular Friends. It's going to exist both as a sort of interview table that we have right here, and also to the side there's some chairs. People who are watching on Instagram right now already. Let me spin this around so people on Instagram can see. There it is. All right, so the people who are watching on Instagram can see the side of the room where the chairs are, where the old grandma couches are. For the old grandma couches over there, we're going to Stereotypical says, you call them regular despite the fact they're obviously grilled. Thank you. I should probably put some stickers on the back of this portable monitor. By the way, if you want a cheap alternative in podcasting as opposed to using like an iPad or something, you can buy portable monitors, USB monitors. And that's what this is here on the table. This is just mirroring what the laptop sees over there. So when we have someone on the computer who wants to look stuff up and show us things, they can definitely do that. The only thing is I can't control the laptop over here, and it's not a touch screen. It's just a plain monitor. The Casana says early live stream. Yep, I woke up and now it's time to make money, and I need a haircut, don't I? Stereotype says obviously cooked. Who's going to be your producer? I had my eye on a friend of mine named Muzzy, but I think he's much better suited to be an on air personality because that's where his talent is. Obviously, my friend Ted would be a fantastic producer, but he's all the way out near Lancaster, and that's far from the Philly suburbs right now. It looks like, yeah, the camera's auto-exposing. I wonder if I can put that on manual. Might I recommend having a wireless mouse by the monitor so you can control the laptop? Yeah, could do that. The idea of me producing the show at the same time as being on the show can be kind of difficult because then it just becomes a producing show and not actually a talent show. Wireless mouse is super useful in suggestions. Skip a touchscreen. Yeah. Presto says furry shout out. Yeah. The regular friends will be a furry adjacent show. It's like we're not going to call attention to any of it, but it is going to be part of the show. Just Ising says, "Go Birds, go Birds." Who's going to be your producer? All right, I answered that. The show itself that you're going to watch, it will be partially on YouTube. And then it'll also be with more content on Patreon, where we won't have to worry about self-censoring. Presto says, that's so sick. I'm so hyped. I love your stuff on Anthrocon way background. Yeah. I mean, we have the DJI mics. We can certainly mic people up if they choose to be on the podcast in fursuit. And there's a delightful snow. We have, right now you're just seeing natural light in this room. So we are lit pretty darn well with the light coming just in through the windows. Although the dynamic lighting of the iPhone is heaps better than the lighting that's coming out of that old webcam over there. Must have a pinhole in my resonator. Replace or bird crap slag. What on earth are you talking about? Must have a pinhole in my resonator. Replace or bird crap slag. I'm just trying to understand what on earth you're talking about. Anyway. See, right now all I want to do is just read the weather to you guys, because all I have right now is this microphone and myself. Too bad Tony's not here. He's watching, but Tony just got back from Japan, where he found so Tony owns a 1998 Daihatsu Hi-Jet Firetruck that he bought, I think, in New Hampshire. And he just got back from Japan, where he traveled to the original fire station where the little Hi-Jet Firetruck last was in use, and gave the fire chief there a framed picture of of his old truck in America. And it looks like they really enjoyed that. Just Isaacing says, missed the start. What's the new podcast going to be about? It's literally just going to be bullshitting, because I don't want to tie myself down to just having to trying to make my hair not stick up in the back. When my hair gets long, even though I'm losing it, it still just goes everywhere. So the podcast is just going to be bullshitting, because I don't feel like tying myself down to just talking about cars the whole time. Not that we wouldn't talk about cars, we obviously would, but I could use like a sticker or like something out here that just says regular friends. I really hope that all of this will be satisfying and sustainable. It's going to have to be sustainable, because what I want is for this new podcast, and what we will do is have the podcast become, hopefully, our main revenue source, a la Stavi's World or Cumtown or The Adam Freeland Show or Dan Soder or something like that. That fire truck thing makes me irrationally angry. Assume the steering is on the correct side. Why does it make you angry? Angry at what? A car existed? Stereotypo says, I'm going to have my balding grandpa's ridiculous hair. There are worse fates. I mean, great thing about modern fashion is I can just buzz my head off and it'll be fine. Matt Hughes says, can you please come to Canada and do some episodes? We did a number of years ago. We came to Toronto. I know Toronto is like Canada light. We have small communities up here with excellent shit boxes. I'd love to. Let's hope someday. Stereotypo says, is it cute aggression? Oh, you mean the little truck itself is aggressively cute? Jack Tom says, I'm literally 10 minutes from Northeast Auto. Not sure what that means. Presto says, anyway, I'll be tuning in for every episode. Love what you do and Roman do. You won't have to tune in. We will definitely pre-record everything and throw it up later. In fact, that's what I should probably do later today. Once we have this, do a pre-recorded episode, or just tell Nick to come over here. Just Isaaking says, live in central Pennsylvania, thinking of getting a motorbike. Do you think it's a good idea, or are drivers these days too unreliable and unsafe? With a motorcycle, your safety is your responsibility. You cannot rely on other drivers to make the road safe for you. There is a well-worn saying that says everybody's out to kill you. And it's true. When you ride a motorcycle, everybody is out to kill you. So you ride that way. You will learn, or you must force yourself to learn, how to predict other people's behavior. That's it. You cannot assume other people know what they're doing. Now, that's just good defensive driving anyway. Are you thinking of distribution on Spotify or other podcast services? Yeah, obviously iTunes. And I think Nick did Spotify as well. I have to text him later today and say, okay, I'm ready to start recording audio. Do you still have the service where you upload stuff? In fact, I really should be doing that right about now. And hello to everybody who's watching on Instagram. Sorry I'm not paying attention to you guys over here. But we're live on YouTube right now. And the point of this is for me to learn this setup. So when we have a normal podcast going, it'll be good. Is your new place closer or further away from Nick? Closer. A little bit closer. Nick's still about 40 minutes away, just because I'm now in the area of Pennsylvania where Nick lives in an area of Pennsylvania where the roads go north and south. But when you get closer to Philly, all the roads orient themselves toward Philadelphia. So where I live, none of the main roads go north and south. They go northeast to southwest, and the adjacent roads go northwest to southeast. It's an X. The roads are X, not plus. So and Nick lives directly west of me, but there are no roads that go east-west. So he has to tack. He has two choices: tack or take the highway, take 422 down to the Oaks exit by the Expo Center, and then go up Trooper Road or Egypt Road or something like that. I'm talking like really Philly thing, like Philly suburbs things now. So either way, it's an annoying drive for him, and I apologize. That it was actually a simpler drive for him when he lived up in. Am I peaking too much? No, okay. It was a simpler drive for him when he was living up in, or when I was living up in Orgsburg, because it was just two highways. When he would go there, he would go like the Onalani Dam or something like that. So I guess maybe he prefers the back roads anyway, so whatever. Stereotypo says, in order to make a safe rider, you must ingest the spice melange in large doses, thus gaining a limited form of prescience. Exactly that. You have to have a form of prescience. Jack Thomas says, reminds me of here in New Hampshire, every single damn road goes north to south in a 20-minute drive. A 20-minute drive west is actually a 45-minute trip. Yep. And you have the New Hampshire, what? That's the Whites? Or is the Whites Vermont? Or is it both of you guys? I forget. Presto says, are you going to be going to any furry conventions this year? Philadelphia, obviously, because it's my hometown convention. I want to go to Western Wapatha, which is Western Pennsylvania, for a weekend. It's the anti-AC. I'm not going to Anthrocon this year. I did it once. It was great. Crazy Taxi got very hot. I marched in the marching band. It was a lot of fun. I yelled at some drunk. I yelled at some fan. I ought to tell that story on the main pod once I'm doing this. So I'm So I'm really only doing 3 cons in 2025: AC, Wapafa, and New Year's Furry Ball, which is a great way for New Year's, which is just a convention without the convention. It's just a bunch of people in a hotel. Mr. Headcrab says spice melange is one of the key ingredients in Cheese Whiz. That's why Philly drivers can handle it. Other side effects including uncontrollable rage and booing at Santa. When I get a cheesesteak, I don't want whiz. Whiz is for tourists. My cheesesteak order. Bear with me on this. Provolone, an inordinate amount of onions. I want some jalapenos in there. Just some jalapenos. And I don't even, if you got some diced tomatoes, throw them in there too. It's not necessary, but that's what I like. A little jalapenos, and you know, if you have diced tomatoes, great. If not, fine. That's what I like. That's my cheesesteak. Cheesesteaks are often better outside of Philly than inside. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Outside the city. That would be a fun video. Like, I mean, cheesesteaks are really, really bad for you. I mean, they can be good if you make them at home, if you actually use like nice steak. But when you go downtown, it's pretty much, it's just steakums. It's just the cheapest meat you can possibly get. Do you drive in winter? Something. Oh, some people who met at the Toronto meetup. Cool. Jalapeno cheesesteak is a rare choice. Nice one, sir. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. Just, you don't, like, I'd rather taste the onions than the jalapenos. The jalapenos just give it a little bit of action going on there. Della and Sandro's in Roxborough is pretty good. Oh, yeah. And there was another place in Manayunk. I forget what it was. Tony told me about it. There's a cheesesteak place in Manayunk. That's pretty good. The steak gets soaked in grease. Yeah. I mean, they're making them all day for freaking tourists. But then that's just like people will be like a cheesesteak cart outside of Independence Hall, right? Come on. Okay, these people talking to each other. Okay, so this sounds good. Audio sounds good. I need some water. Typical Pennsylvania reinvention of the wheel through condiment usage. I don't know what that means, but it sounds cool. Pie Rope says, by any chance are you going to visit the West Coast sometime in the future, California specifically? You have to pay me to come back to Cali. You have to pay me to come back to California. That's how it is. I do want to go to Seattle because I have friends in Seattle and by extension Vantucky, Vancouver, Washington. My friend Riley, who you might remember helped out with the postal truck review as well as some other stuff when we shot it upside out by Mount St. Helens. She rides motorcycles, and her friend Matt Ebel also rides. I don't have a bike now, but I have helmets, and I wouldn't mind going out there for a nice bike trip. But the number one priority in my life right now is this podcast. Well, and the show, obviously. Get this podcast going, get people interested in it, pay off the house, and then once I'm nice and comfortable with a paid off house, like Caleb Hammer style, then I can celebrate again. Would you ever visit Central Florida? What, Disney World? Who do I know in Central Florida? Tavarish, I know him. I follow Automotive Flux, and he's looking for a Yugo in Ontario. Remember Yugo Crank Off? Yeah, that was good times. Just Isaacing says, any other international trips you'd like to go on? Again, once the house is paid off, then I can talk about going international again. I want to just go back to Australia. That's what I want to do. I'd love to go there for Fur Down Under. That's what I'd love to do. I'd love to go to Japan and see the cars they have there. Here's an interesting thing. I know this sounds weird, being that I own a JDM car, but I have no desire to go to Japan. I don't know what it is. It's like I should probably record this right now. This seems like guys who are watching on Instagram. I'm going to cut it right here. And I am going to hit record on OBS and just clip this for short form content. Thanks, guys, on Instagram. Cutting that. And now. Just uploading. Damn, Fios is fast. Okay, good question. Do I have it? Do I want to go to Japan? Here's a weird thing. I have no desire to go on a car trip to Japan at this particular time. And the reason I don't want to go to Japan right now is because I don't feel like being hassled. Maybe it's like a little bit of an autistic thing, and I hope this is coming across in a sensitive way. But I know that Americans aren't always that welcome in Japan, and maybe it's the whole foreigners thing. And this is maybe my problem, not there, because I know I would be hyper aware that I am being evaluated, judged, and a lot of things are going to be assumed about me, even though I'm going to Japan, even though I would go to Japan just to hang out with other car people. Does that make sense? It's like, Presto says this chair looks hella uncomfortable. It is. These chairs suck. These chairs are bad. I need just some folding chairs or something like that. These chairs, I'm getting off topic. Japan, I would need like a fixer, and I would need someone to go with me or meet me there in Japan who can vouch that I'm not a bad American. Does that make sense? I want, and I know the cool cars are all out in the country. Yes, there's stuff in Tokyo, of course. But I would want someone to help smooth everything over. Stereotypical asks, would you collaborate with Nairotu, a.k.a. the Drifting Aussie? I'm up to collaborate with whoever. Unfortunately, I don't know who that is. Matt Fay says, kind of a lousy excuse not to go see something super cool. Yeah, it is a lousy excuse. You're right. But there's a lot of like self-consciousness in myself to, how would I get over that? How would I get over, because obviously I'm a content creator. I have an innate desire to be liked. And how do you get over, and I know the answer is just don't think about it, but how would you get over not always thinking about how a good number of people in Japan would instantly hate me just by the fact that I'm not Japanese and coming there and visiting? Now, I'm assuming a lot. I want to be, told that it's not going to be that way, because I want to drive all the fun cars that we don't get in the United States. So I'm going to stop recording on that. Cut that up into some shorts. Give me something to do. Stop recording. Okay, so this is good. Will we see a video on the Honda today soon? Today, yes. We will. I will definitely get Honda today content going. That's something I got to clean it up and talk to Nick. Anyway, Just Isaacing says, I feel you, man. I think personally you may be overblowing it. Yeah, I probably totally am. But hey, if this is how you feel, it's how you feel. South Korea has a decent car history and they love foreigners. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think I'd be more hip to go to Vietnam or South Korea, something like that. Matthew says, yes, please confirm you will review a vintage Vespa. Haha, it's the ultimate vehicle, truly a big pain in the ass to own. Love to ride a vintage Vespa at some point. Johnny Somali's stay in Japan currently hasn't helped that sentiment toward Americans. I don't know who Johnny Somali is. You'd have to educate me. Off topic, I know your Model T video is filmed in North Park near Pittsburgh. Yep. I live in minutes from there. Find yourself in that way. Often super cool to see you down that way. Well, WAPAFA is held out in that area as well. So I think that's in September or something like that. So, Chromo K asks, are you going to go back to on the Adam Friedland show again? Anytime they want, I'm theirs. Gladly go back on the Adam Friedland show. How do you avoid time sucks in video games or other hedonistic enjoyments? I like making money. And unless I'm a streamer, video games are a waste of my time. I enjoy them, but I could be doing something that makes money. And now that I own a house, I need to be making money every moment of every day now. Because this mortgage, as much as I put down on this house, this mortgage rates aren't friendly right now. So when I pay my mortgage, I'm not really paying off my mortgage. I'm paying the interest. The mortgage isn't getting any smaller. So that's why this podcast has to make money. Hint, hint, super chat. Or rather, Patreon. Because we're going to be doing a lot of content for Patreon. And that's what's going to ensure RCR's future. Johnny Somali is, this is Mr. Headcrab. Johnny Somali is some streamer douche who is harassing people for the likes. Thought he was under arrest in Korea at the moment. Okay. So he's a guy who annoys people for clicks. Fantastic. Come visit Finland. Oh, cool. Our weird country that loves motorsport. Hey, greatest rally drivers in the world, Finnish, right? I suppose that's an American pun with English. The Finnish always finish first. Pedro says, damn, it sounds stressful. Yeah, but it's so much nicer being here in the Philly area than it is back in Schuylkill County. Because down here, being gay isn't a thing. Up there, it is a thing. Are taxes bad in Pennsylvania? Yes. Yes, they are. Taxes in the greater Philadelphia area are more expensive than Long Island, New York. Because location. That's the thing people don't tell you about Philadelphia. You're literally in the center of the whole Northeast corridor, from Boston to I think Richmond. It's all here, all on 95. And right now Philly's the center of it. Oh yeah, I remember you saying that. I want to move out of Poland. Poland to Seattle. Do you mean Portland? Portland, Oregon? See, that's throwing me. Do you mean to say Portland, Oregon? And you're saying it's hard to be gay in Portland, or do you literally mean Poland to go to Seattle? Spearmint Neighbor says, are the RCR shoot locations going to same? Yes, and thank God they are. Yeah, we get to have backgrounds that aren't the racquetball club all the time. Poland, like the contrary. Warsaw, Poland. Wow, yeah. So you want to go from Poland to Seattle. Complete Northwest. Interesting. You're going to skip over the whole East Coast and go to the Pacific Northwest. Hey, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. You'll definitely have fun. Slant, is there noticeably less homophobia in the... Of course there is. Yes. This is Philadelphia. Philly don't play, and they don't care. It's you against the city and for the city. Go Birds. The people down here have bigger things to worry about than who's putting what and where hole. That's it. It's such a small point. All right. So it's almost noon. There's someone coming over here to pick up some old beds that the state left behind. So I got to do that. And they have a gayborhood. Yeah, and Philly has a gayborhood. And I love how Philly's gayborhood is still Philly first and gay second. All right, guys. I'm going to stop streaming. Thanks for helping me work through this. I'm going to try if I can see if get someone over to come over here and make an inaugural podcast. Probably Nick. And see what he's doing. Take care, guys. Bye.